All right, everybody. I know everybody's still taking their seats, but we're going to stay to our time as best as we can today. So welcome, everyone, to our Wildfire and Forest Resilience Task Force. So glad that we're able to be here in San Diego and learn all about the interesting actions that have been taking place over the past year since we were last down here. I'm Jennifer Eberlein. I'm Regional Forester for the Pacific Southwest region for the Forest Service. And I want to welcome everybody today. And I'm also going to give my co-chair here today a chance to introduce yourself, Joe.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Tyler. I am the director at CAL FIRE the office is located in Sacramento. Of course, you're represented by the Southern region and for Southern California, multiple units in contract counties as well. We have CAL FIRE staff located throughout the room representing those units and regions that we can direct you to should you have questions. But I look forward to today as well.
Great. Thanks so much. And Secretary Wade Crowfoot is normally here. He sends his regards to everybody this week as well. So glad that we're all here. And again, if this is your first time that you're joining us with the task force, just really quickly, you'll hear this throughout throughout the panels, that we came together as state, federal, local agencies, local communities to really align all of our activities and work, our priorities, our investments to increase the pace and scale of on-the-ground work to really reduce our risk that we have, particularly on wildfire risk, as well as create forest health and forest resiliency in our landscapes. So you'll see that theme hopefully throughout the entire day. But first, before we really dig into our agenda today, I want to introduce Lisa Peterson, Executive Director of the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. And can I just get a round of applause for the amazing venue we have here with Lisa and her incredible staff. And I'll turn it over to Lisa.
Good morning and welcome to the Safari Park. There. It's red. Is that better? No. You're gonna not on. Can I have a handheld?
Can you turn on? Yep, there we go. One moment.
Okay. This is how you know it's going to be a good meeting. You start like this, get it all out of the way right away, and then you're all good. Good. Okay, is that better? Okay. So welcome to the Safari Park. My name is Lisa Peterson. I'm the executive director here, and I've been here about 6.5 years. And I absolutely love this valley, love this park, and have the best job ever. So if you can. Yep, it's just going to keep getting better and better from here. Awesome. So anyway, if anybody thinks they have the best job ever, it's me. The Safari Park is one of the two front doors that supports the mission of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. We're an international nonprofit conservation organization, and we're committed to inspiring passion for nature and envisioning a world where all life thrives. But I'd like to open the meeting by recognizing the San Pasqual Band as the first stewards of the land that the San Diego Zoo Safari Park sits upon, and pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Since time immemorial, the Kumeyaay have lived in Southern California, caring for and connected to the land, water, and wildlife. San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance conservation mission closely aligns with this task force. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to welcome you all here today. We are both committed to working together to create healthier, more sustainable natural environments for future generations. Conservation is a collective journey, and it begins with people. It grows through community action, and it culminates in meaningful change. A great example of how our community came together is the installation of our helihydrant that will protect our local community, land, and wildlife. And this is, it really is an example of what happens when you come together. Our local Escondido fire team helped us. Our local police helped us. Team at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance helped us, along with Tony Atkins and Brian Mainshine. So it really was a community effort. And that helihydrant is not just for the protection of the safari park, it's a protection for our community. It is the first hydrant in the city of San Diego. So it's located here and we work to get it installed here, but it's for all of us to protect our land. The other thing that we recently installed is a fire radar system. It's cameras that are located on the repeaters that belong to the city, and it reports anything over 400 degrees, and it taps into our SOC immediately. So our SOC is notified, and then we can navigate it from there and make sure that we reach out to all of our partners. So just another way that we've worked with local partners and another way that we're trying to protect the land. Partnerships are at the heart of everything we do here at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, and we value the work with federal, tribal, state, and local governments. And with that in mind, I would be honored to welcome Chairman Cope from the San Pasqual Band of Mission Indians.
Good morning. I am Stephen Cope. I'm the chairman of the San Pasqual Band of Mission Indians. We want to welcome you to our ancestral land. The San Pasqual battlefield is right down the road, along with our cemetery that houses a lot of our ancestors. And it's always nice to come back home. But before we get started, I would like to do a blessing. Some of you that can stand, that'd be great. If you can't, you can sit. But normally in tradition, we always do a blessing. Today, thank you for watching over us. Thank you for providing everything from the air to the sun, to the food, to the nature of the grounds. Watch over us as we get through today. There's a lot of good information today. Work together. It's always been great to be able to partnership with a lot of people. And we just hope that we can all go home safe and live happy and enjoy our rest of our lives. Amen. Thank you. Like Lisa said, this is our ancestral land. This has been a long time coming. It's always nice to come home. The stewards of this land, San Diego Wild Animal Park, Safari Park, I should say, has done a great job in doing all these things for us, protecting the animals. It means a lot to us. Someday that there's days when we would like to come back. We're working on that. We'd like to take over the park down here, State Park. We're working on that. So we'll see what happens. But again, it's a great opportunity to have all of you here, to enjoy this, to share this with you. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to the San Pasqual Band of Mission Indians. We have a lot of representatives here from San Pasqual, our environmental department, our fire department, and we appreciate you coming out and being a part of this. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chairman and Lisa, and thank you again for just grounding us in our sense of place, the history that is here, and how we all want to come together to continue to care for this land. So thank you so much for that. All right, I'm going to turn also and kick us off again, and for the next few minutes, just let you know, I'll do some introductions and give some updates on what we're doing with the Forest Service. We are actually returning back to Southern California region here with the task force. We were here, was it about a year ago or so? And so we're coming back again, and we're making our regional rounds. How this task force operates is we've been going in person to each one of our 4 regions in California, and then also having interim meetings in Sacramento that are more business administrative focused. And so what we want to do here is really focus on the region that we are in. So you'll see those reflected in the panels. I'll turn it over to my co-chair here, and then we'll also have our executive committee introduce themselves and give some remarks. remarks or comments if they have that chance to do that. So I will start out just saying again, very happy to be here and give you some updates on what we're doing in the Forest Service, at least. Again, we are really working hard on our hazardous fuels accomplishments. Between state and the Forest Service, we signed an agreement together to get to 1 million acres of fuels risk reduction. And we're doing our part on the Forest Service side of that to really work towards that. We have a goal of 360,000 acres, accomplished at least 71,000 acres of prescribed fire. We've had some amazing windows. I bet that Chief Tyler will talk about that as well with the state. We certainly are also tracking that we are able to look and treat 100,000 acres last fall in one of our wildfires that we had too. So we're looking at all opportunities of natural ignition, prescribed fire, as well as mechanical treatments to really make some headway on our hazardous fuels reduction. Of course, we have a wildfire crisis strategy that the Forest Service has. We have approximately 7 of the landscapes. Some of them are in other regions or other states that are part of California, and these dovetail so nicely in with our task force. So they're part of our task force, as well as a major priority. The number one priority outside of health and safety with the Forest Service is very much focusing resources, money and skills and abilities into these areas to increase pace and scale of a certain landscape and move that towards a more healthy forest health type of place, as well as reduce our risk on that. We also have, and I believe that's open now, $100 million nationally that we are working and have open for grants or other project opportunities for landscapes outside of the wildfire crisis ones, those designated landscapes. And it's called Collaborative Wildfire Risk Reduction Program. So we are accepting applications through Forest Service and partners on those projects right now. Replant Act, as you all know, we've developed a reforestation plan through the task force, and the Forest Service also has a reforestation plan that dovetails with the task force as well. And we're finishing that one up with the Forest Service. Again, you'll see that this work obviously will require substantial investment and resources, and we have the opportunity within the Replant Act of a revolving fund nationally that we're able to tap into on that. So it's going to help us fill some of those critical gaps that we have in the California's reforestation pipeline as well. We are ready to unveil a broader scale monitoring program with the Forest Service, and I believe that will be live tomorrow. And I'm looking at my colleague in the audience, Sherry, that's live tomorrow. So very excited about this. It's going to give us ways that we're able to monitor some of the results of our work on social, economic, and ecological trends on national forests in the region. We've been working very closely with the task force as we're developing monitoring plans. So we're looking to dovetail all of these together, but very excited about that. Looking forward to get feedback from anybody who can go on there and take a look at that website. We'll share that through the task force website as well. So you have a link on that. We're certainly, again, collaborating with CAL FIRE and CNRA in order to make sure that we integrate those collective monitoring and collaborative monitoring programs. We're working on 5-year plans, so we're able to better show and work collaboratively of where we need to make our next projects across the landscape over the next 5 years. So that's something that we've been working on. We have urban and community forestry projects then, and Southern California is directly funding 12 projects. Forest Service is directly funding 12 projects for a total of $47 million to support local communities and urban forests. And we have 7.3 million going to 11 cities in Southern California, and that's managed by Green Latinos, a national nonprofit focused on environmental justice for communities of color. So very excited about that. And then again, we've got lots of other things that are happening, but I wanted to just give you some key points, at least from the Forest Service side, of how we're moving along on Forest Service activities and how they just dovetail and integrate with our task force and all of our state and other federal partners and local and regional work that we're doing. So very much looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to today's meeting. And with that, I will turn it over to Joe.
All right, make sure this is on. Well, good morning, everyone. Again, Joe Tyler, the director at CAL FIRE. It is great to be here and appreciate the opportunity to present here in Southern California today. And again, my appreciation to the San Diego Zoo, Animal Park, the San Pasqual Band of Mission Indians for allowing us to hold this meeting on their ancestral lands, as well as the city of Escondido, the county of San Diego, the unit, the forest, and the task force staff that really brought this together and made this happen today. You know, it'll be a packed agenda day filled with great information for 4 different panels talking about a variety of perspectives, and that is really what it is all about. As I mentioned earlier, I have staff from Sacramento region and the unit here able to network with you and present and talk about any local challenges or opportunities that you may have together. If you have any questions about who those are at a break, feel free to reach out to me or them, and we will get you pointed in the right direction. I really want to reiterate that one of my primary values that I hold here is I recognize that we as government, we as the state of California, we as any one of us in this room cannot accomplish what we're doing alone. And as you heard earlier from Lisa, it really is about partnerships to be able to accomplish these goals. And I say that even with more importance at this moment, because we recognize that while we have had a lot of opportunities around state investments of over $2.8 billion into California, that the state of California is in a tight budgetary timeline with a governor's proposed budget that has general fund reductions in some of the important work that we're all doing. But I will tell you that the administration as a whole, the Natural Resources Agency, CAL FIRE, I imagine, without speaking for you, our federal
Okay.
partners as well, are all committed because we need to keep this momentum moving forward, regardless of the funding that we have available. I recognize that we could look at this as an opportunity and recognize that the money that has been put out there and grant opportunities to each and every one of you who are doing great work could look like it is unaffected because it has extended encumbrances, it has allowances for extended years to accomplish this work. And we'll find ourselves that if we don't find alternatives together as we continue through tight budgetary timeframes, that we will find ourselves in a situation in 2, 3, 4 years down the road where some of this momentum may be lost if we don't have the funding to keep up with it. So it's the responsibility of us and the responsibility of all of us together to continue this great work across California. You know, the last 2 years in California have been a great opportunity to see reduced catastrophic fires across the state. And that has allowed all of us together to be able to continue that prevention work, to be able to do that prescribed fire, to learn more about traditional ecological knowledge, to learn more about cultural burning, to be able to invest in the areas that we need to invest in. And with that, we hope and we pray that in 2024 that we will find an opportunity where the fire behavior will be moderated to allow us to still continue to do a lot of that great prevention work. And I have hope that we're going to be able to do that. You know, CAL FIRE continues to invest in a lot of areas, regardless of what you hear about the budget, grant opportunities in forest health, grant opportunities in forest resilience and post-fire reforestation, workforce and business development, forest legacy, wildfire prevention, working with our community wildfire and preparedness mitigation program that was established under AB 9 that includes things like home hardening that are affected here in San Diego County. And I will just point out that while it has been a long process working between CAL FIRE, Cal OES, and our FEMA partners, here just a couple of days ago, they were able to finally begin hardening the first home located in Lake County as one of those pilot projects. And we hope that the other pilot projects will take off here real soon. We are finishing our CAL FIRE strategic plan, giving us a vision for the next 5 years and where we are and where we need to go. Please look for that coming out around July of 2024. It really came together not as my strategic plan, but the department strategic plan, taking a lot of input from all organizations, all facets, all geographical locations across the state. You know, as we're coming back into what we would consider a transitional season, of our fire year. We recognize that CAL FIRE is beginning the process to ramp its resources back up, begin staffing its air bases again, continuing the work here in San Diego with San Diego County Sheriff's Department of staffing their helicopter that they have down here in San Diego, as well as our hand crews and our engines to be able to support the work not only in suppression, but in prevention year round. So with that, I look forward to today's meeting and we'll pass it back to you.
Great, thanks so much. I'm going to turn to our executive committee and introductions and any words that you want to share today. Lisa, let's start off with you.
Thank you. Again, Lisa Lean Mager with the Natural Resources Agency. Secretary Crowfoot does send his regrets for not being able to be here today. But just broadly at our agency, we remain focused on really coordinating efforts across our agency and with our partners to build that pace and scale and continue to build resilience. So we're laser focused, as Joe said, even with, the budget landscape that we're facing, we're really remaining focused on our priorities there. And I will just share one brief update that may be of interest to task force members. I know that there is a permit synchronization work group through the task force that's been focused on how we can really increase efficiencies around our timber harvest and forest restoration program. I'm happy to share that we are moving ahead with conducting a Lean Six Sigma sort of assessment to look at that program and identify some efficiencies. So look forward to having more details once that contract's finalized to share. So more to come, but just wanted to pass that on.
Good morning, everyone. Don Hankins with the Indigenous Stewardship Network, and it's a pleasure to be down here on Kumeyaay homelands and also representing the Indigenous Stewardship Network. One thing I'll highlight is just thinking of the opportunities that we'll hear about today with some of our partners. Thinking of the panel this afternoon, particularly thinking about folks from La Jolla Band and other communities like Paula and the Climate Science Alliance, who've been doing a lot of work with the Indigenous Stewardship Network and other partners in this region. So I'll be excited to hear that kind of firsthand here with you all, and just elevating that. This landscape that we're in, I always like to remind everybody, comes from a landscape of stewardship with Indigenous people stewarding. And obviously from time of colonization, that has been a departure in this landscape. And so we need to be thinking about where and how those things fit back into this place and how we all can benefit from it. I'll also just highlight a couple of other things that have kind of been going on within the realm of the Indigenous Stewardship Network. At our last meeting in Sacramento, I announced that we had hired our network director, Tasha James, who is now working within our Indigenous Stewardship Network to help to advance the work that we're doing. For those of you within the Indigenous communities and partnerships, the one thing I would say is to look for future opportunities around the the Rekindling Fire program that we have. We were hoping to be able to launch some more funding opportunities around that in the near future. And then I'll just also note that, there's a lot of things that partners of the Indigenous Stewardship Network have been engaged with over the past several months, including wrapping up the Wildfire Commission report at the national level, adding contributions to other planning documents at the state and national level. And then recently, the release of Good Fire 2 report, which many of you, if you follow, is a product from the Karuk tribe, but it highlights some of the policy and other barriers that exist. Good Fire 2 focuses more on the federal level barriers that exist to prescribed and cultural burning. But I look to that as a resource because I think it's been impactful in the past with Good Fire 1 having integrated in and nice dovetailing with the work the task force is doing. So look for that on the Karuk's climate change website if you're interested in that. Beyond that, we as an organization are really just working to kind of formulate and set a trajectory for success in the future. And if you're not familiar with the Indigenous Stewardship Network, please come talk to me about it today. Thank you.
Good morning, Katie Landau. I'm Special Advisor to the Deputy Secretary for Water Policy at the California Environmental Protection Agency, and I'm very happy to be here on behalf of Secretary Yana Garcia. So the Cali PA agencies are broadly focused on, air quality, water quality, and then supporting communities in the recovery efforts and the cleanup for hazardous debris and all of that kind of work post-fire. A couple quick updates that I wanted to provide today is that, we're going to hear from the utilities this afternoon on their role in all of the work that they're doing, along with this permit synchronization and the streamlining that we're looking at. The State Water Resources Control Board is developing a utility general order that is really intended to help streamline all of the admin parts associated with those utility projects. And they are going to be releasing a draft order later this year for public comment. So that's definitely going to be an area that will help support a lot of the work that's being done by this task force and our partners. Something else I did want to mention is that a few weeks ago, Cali PA announced the first round of Cali PA's Environmental Justice Action Grant funding. The first round recipients for that funding received a total of over $6 million in funding for 27 community-centered and community-led projects across the state. Several of the awardees will help improve emergency preparedness and increase community resilience to wildfires and other extreme climate events. And several of those projects were in the Southern California region. Really focused on helping communities with their planning so that they are better prepared for those wildfires and other climate-related emergencies. And it's not done yet. We are going to have a second round of funding with applications being accepted later this year. And I would really encourage any community-based organizations or tribes that are in the audience today to look forward to that announcement and encourage you to apply. And with that, I just want to say thank you to all the staff who helped put together this event today. And I'm really looking forward to the conversations and hearing what's working on the ground in Southern California and, whether there's still needs left to be done. So thank you.
Good morning. There we go. School of the Gifted here. I'm Doug Teeter. I serve on this panel at the pleasure of Rural County Representatives of California. It's a 40-member county organization, and it's been one of the favorite groups that I've ever been on. I'll put this at a close second behind my Fire Safe Council that I also serve on. So I guess, I'm here at the will of voters, which is a lot different, from a lot of these other folks. And so, I think the perspective is what local voters, I'm a supervisor in Butte County. I didn't say that. Even though they elect me, I like to think, being on Rural County Representatives of California, I have a perspective of a greater California-wide vision. And our closest county is Imperial to the east of us. That's a member. And fun fact, I went to San Diego State, so I spent 2 years down in this area. I terrorized the hills to the east on a sport bike. So I apologize, 30 years ago, if I offended you going to Palomar Mountain or something. And that has always retained a special place. It's beautiful up there. The road is awesome. And I'm sorry, I can't do the tours tomorrow, but it'll be interesting because your fire issues are a lot different than Northern California. And I always find that an interesting perspective, and I'm here to learn.
Hi, my name is Ed Valenzuela. I'm a county supervisor for Siskiyou County. What Supervisor Teeter did not tell you is he was past president for the RCRC group, representing the rural counties. I represented as past president for CSAC, all 58 counties. And I think one of the things that I bring to the table is representing all the counties, knowing that every area is different. So I'm always here to learn. I always try to take something out of having conversation. Joe, we just had one about the up and coming fire season. So I just want to thank the whole San Diego group here. This is a great venue. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Richard Barheit. I'm the station director at the Pacific Southwest Research Station in the U.S. Forest Service, and so work closely with Jen up in Vallejo is where we're based, and we cover California, Hawaii, and the U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands. I just wanted to update on a couple things that we've been working on. We are continuing to work with with large data sets and decision support tools. I think many of you may be familiar with the regional resource kits that have been available now for some time that provide really a range of current condition data for landscapes across 4 regions in California. And with those data, then you really can start to do some more assessments of your landscapes and some planning for the future as well. And so with the Planscape decision support tool, we've been continuing to work with SIG and CAL FIRE and CNRA and others on that tool. And you'll probably notice if you've been to the Planscape website recently that there are a growing range of capabilities that are available there to be able to look at data and start to do some initial planning on that. We've been doing some workshops recently to help orient some of our land managers up in some of the wildfire crisis strategy landscapes that Jen mentioned to the use of those data and those decision support capabilities. Just want to also mention a couple research projects that we have going on that may be of interest to the group. One of them is just starting out, and it's looking at quantifying fuel break networks in chaparral landscapes. And this may be of interest. We're really looking at, certainly I know folks down here are very familiar with the benefits of fuel break networks in these landscapes, and certainly being able to fund those is critical. And so looking at kind of ways that we can assess the value of that to support conservation finance investments in those fuel breaks. One other study that I would mention is we just recently finished an assessment on our Goose Nest adaptive management area. We had the antelope fire go through there. It's up in the Plumas National Forest about 3 years ago. We had a decades-long study up there that was looking at forest conditions across areas that had been thinned, areas that had been exposed to prescribed fire, areas that had been treated with both prescribed fire and thinning, and then those that had just been left alone. And when the fire went through there, we're initially disappointed that that it took out all of our plots, but it was really an opportunity to look at how these different treatment conditions affected fire intensity and affected tree mortality. And not surprisingly, the areas that had been subjected to both prescribed fire and thinning did significantly better on both the tree mortality and limiting fire intensity, including when they had been exposed to really severe fire weather. So if anybody's interested in that, you can certainly take a look at our website. So thank you so much. Good to be here.
Great, thank you. And there is your executive committee that we have. And you can tell that with our 2 county representatives, counties are incredibly important for us to make sure we have those connections and understand that local, regional, state, federal, all of those types of places that we have in our organization. And so I want to make sure we have the opportunity to hear from our local San Diego County Supervisor. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Joel Anderson to us to the podium. Thank you for being here, Supervisor
Thank you so much. Oh, good. We're on. Listen, thank you so much. And I just want to welcome you all to my district. I'm going to give you a little bit of history. Just over 20 years ago, the Cedar Fire took over 2,000 homes in my former Senate district and impacted this area. And shortly after that, we had 4 years later, the Horse Creek Fire, Witch Creek Fire, and the Paradise Fire. All these were catastrophic fires here in San Diego County and Riverside County. And it became very apparent that one of the problems is everybody was siloed. Everybody was doing a great job in their silo, but people weren't communicating. This task force is a huge step in the right direction. And I am so pleased to welcome you all to be here 35 years ago, I moved to the unincorporated. And within 6 weeks, I had my first evacuation. And I've been evacuated every 3 to 5 years ever since. I'm never moving. I love where I live. I love San Diego County. And I represent the rural portions. I think that if the supervisor came out to my house, he would not notice the difference between Siskiyou and San Diego County. Having said that, I think it's so crucial that federal, state, local, and tribal nations are working together to be the solution. And for that reason, I hope we have an incredible conference today. And I also want to shout out to Lisa and her team for putting this incredible venue together for us so that we can focus on the work of the people. Thank you again, and thank you so much for the hard work and the great attitude that you bring here to solve our problems. Thank you all.
Great. Thank you, Supervisor, for being here too. While Kristen starts coming up here, I'm going to make sure I take some time to also acknowledge our hosts and our sponsors that we have here. And as we've said, Lisa, thank you so much, San Diego Zoo Safari Park, for being an incredible venue, for being an incredible host for us. Thank you so much on that. The RCD of Greater San Diego County, especially Ann Baldridge and Heather Marlowe, thank you. Forest Service, Jeff Hayes, you're out there somewhere. Okay, he's out here somewhere. So thank you very much. And CAL FIRE San Diego unit as sponsors, or I mean as hosts for us. Thank you. Sponsors, San Diego County Fire, Inland Empire RCD, Climate Science Alliance, San Diego Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority, Tri-Hydro, Caltrans, CAL FIRE, and Forest Service as sponsors. We could not do this and be here without everybody participating, helping, supporting us on that. So thank you. And I just want to give everybody a round of applause for all of our sponsors and our amazing hosts. Thank you. All right. And then we're going to take a quick moment for Kristen Merrill to do an introductory activity for us.
So we want to get you guys all involved, and unfortunately, our Department of Conservation folks that usually do this type of thing, or watershed folks that usually do this type of thing, are not able to be here. And so unfortunately, you get me. So I'm not only going to make you interact with each other, and those of you at home, I'm going to make you move. So, but before you move, I want you guys to think about this little card that you got when you checked in. We want you to recognize that we're all here together and now. So I want you guys to get out your smartphones, take photos today. Use this QR code. You can upload them to a box where we will share them, or you can just post them to your favorite social media site. Don't forget to hashtag the task force. Don't forget to hashtag the RCD of Greater San Diego County. Don't forget to hashtag the Safari Park, hashtag your organization as well, or any of our wonderful sponsors and hosts. So don't forget, all together now, we will do this. Secretary Crowfoot is waiting for you guys to post your photos online. I wait. Okay, so because I'm going to make you move, I want you guys to first, I want the online audience to get involved. We have online, we have a poll everywhere, and we're asking 2 poll questions. Who do you work for? What type of organization do you work for? And where are you located? So statewide, I can't see this. Where are you located in California? That's great, Forrest. Those of you who are in the audience, I want you to stand up at home too. So you guys got some impression in Reading that I was a yoga instructor, and that is false. For the task force, for my own sanity, but I have been a fitness instructor for like 30+ years. So right now, I want you to stretch up tall. So in yoga, one thing about yoga they make you do is they make you hug each other. And like say hi to each other and stuff like that when you walk in class. It's very uncomfortable. And so I'm not going to make you hug each other, but you should. Fist bump, high five, shake your neighbor's hand to the side of you. You can, like do the things that we used to do in COVID. I don't care, but I want you to introduce yourself and where you work. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I love it. Good. Good. Okay, 30 seconds. Seconds. All right. All right, wrap it up. Wrapping it up now, otherwise we got burpees. All right. So folks at home, you guys are mostly statewide focused. We've got outside of California. That's fantastic. Do we have a question about who they work for? Where's your affiliation? It'll take some time. We have a bunch of folks from state agencies. Who here is from a state agency? Stand up. All right, sit down. Who here's from, we got a bunch of 18%, so 64% from state agencies, 17% from the private and federal, private industry. Who's here from private industry? Stand up. Yes. Nice, sit down. Nonprofits, 13, 14%. They're, yes, look at you guys. All right, good, sit down. Local government agencies. We can't do it without the local government agencies. Nice. Yes, sit down. Tribal. No one online from the tribal because they're all here. Look at us. Yes. And other. Who's an other? Yay! We can't do it without. Okay, everybody stand up. All together now. Stand up. Give yourselves a hand. Give all of our sponsors and our hosts a hand. Nice.
Wow, Kristen, thank you.